Play the most brutal shooter of the year. Warhammer 40k Darktide is the much-anticipated co-op action shooter from an award-winning team of developers. Available now on PC. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 best FPS games of 2022. For this list, we're looking at the best first-person shooters that came out this year. Have you had a chance to play any of these? Which one was your favorite? Let us know down in the comments. Number 10. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. We are very well aware of the fact that Call of Duty releases virtually the same game every single year, and the franchise has become stale in recent years. But compared to the recent outings of Vanguard and World War II, this sequel to 2019's Modern Warfare manages to be a little more fun than the aforementioned titles. The campaign doesn't feel as overly explosive or hokey as previous games, and it presents a decent challenge thanks to its strong level design. The only reason we didn't put it higher was because of the occasional bugs and glitches. Number 9. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
You see the walls of the mighty Brighthoof.
Admittedly, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was a step backwards for the Borderlands franchise, mostly in terms of story and writing, but it was also a step forward in terms of gameplay. Even though skill trees were more restrictive than ever on playstyle, it compensated by adding a couple of extra classes to choose from than previous games typically gave us. The fantasy setting was a refreshing change from the usual "look at how crazy we are" apocalypse, and it was generally entertaining to have Tiny Tina serve as our dungeon master once again.
You seek passage. I can aid you.
Number 8. Bone Lab. One of the biggest hurdles in VR development is incorporating motion that's fluid enough for the player to handle. It's part of the reason we've seen so many stationary FPS games in the VR space. Developers' Stress Level 0 manages to mitigate these problems as if they never existed. Bone Lab is a true marvel in VR technology with its visuals, physics, and insanely accurate feedback. Very few VR games can nail the same level of responsiveness, let alone malleability, in modding the way Bone Lab has. If you have a VR headset, you absolutely need to grab this. Number 7. Kingdom of the Dead. Kingdom of the Dead is arguably the most strange FPS game on this list. You play as an investigator named Agent Chamberlain who must bring an end to Death and his forces. In addition to the unique visuals and environments and enemy design, Kingdom of the Dead offers up creative experiences for fans of boomer shooters with its story, weapons, and creepy atmosphere. Sure, it plays a little slower than most other shooters, but this speed is perfect for a game as eerie and terrifying as this. Number 6. Izonzo. Remember the days when military shooters told new stories, ones that took place during eras like World War I and explored regions of the world and how events back then affected them? Where franchises like Battlefield have failed, Izonzo has charged through and stolen the mantle. As the name implies, Izonzo takes place during World War I when Italy fought Austria-Hungary for control over the titular river. Set up a crow's nest to snipe enemies from afar, forge materials to build structures, and customize your stash as you fight for control across the Alps and claim the Izonzo River as yours. And if you want more World War I games to experience, developers M2H and Black Mill Games have also put out games about the Battle of Verdun in France and the Battle of Tannenberg in Germany. Number 5. Neon White. Platforming used to be a real hassle to deal with in the old days of FPS games. Never forget Zen in Half-Life. Thankfully, most FPS games have found ways to make it work, which is why Neon White deserves recognition. On top of the smooth frame rate and fluid controls, the game is designed in such a way that players can find a handful of shortcuts to shave seconds off their runs. We'll admit that Neon White can get a little too weeby with the story and characters, but this is certainly a gem worth picking up and sticking around for the gameplay. Number 4. Fashion Police Squad. Of all the boomer shooters we've seen since the genre's resurgence, this is the funniest on the market. Fashion Police Squad puts you in the stylish shoes of Sergeant Day, who notices a weird surge of fashion-related crimes cropping up across Trendopolis. Weapon swapping is the name of the game here, as enemies can only be defeated with weapons that match their fashion crimes.
Get me your man!
Trim down enemies in oversized suits with the tailor-made rifle, blast color into grey corporate minions, or do away with those wearing socks and sandals with explosive sock gnomes. Afterwards, celebrate your justice by sending the former criminals onto the walkway. How could you not want to play this? Number 3. Gloomwood.
Hey, Doc. They put your fancy sword and things in the room back there. They might still be there.
Not every FPS needs to be loud and frenetic like Grandpappy Doom or Uncle Wolfenstein, but with Thief being dormant since 2014, the stealth shooter genre has been noticeably vacant for a long time. This is where Gloomwood comes in. Inspired by the likes of Thief and other horror shooters and stealth games of the 90s and 2000s, Gloomwood will quickly captivate you with its enemy design, morbidly beautiful locations, and emergent gameplay. Use whatever you can from your arsenal or even random objects to sneak your way around, or whip out the cane sword and guns for an old-fashioned shootout. And if you still aren't on board for whatever reason, the producers of Ultra Kill and Dusk also worked on this game. So, you know it's good.
The hounds seem anxious tonight.
It's the outsider. They don't like his stench.
Number 2. Prodeus. For those itching for an experience that resembles Doom 64, look no further, as Prodeus will scratch that itch and more. Your mission is simple: track down the titular creator of the world and destroy it. Yes, the gameplay and gunplay feel very much like Doom 64 and even Quake, but the main attraction is in the visuals. The game manages to keep itself looking ancient as hell, yet still gorgeous with its lighting, particles, and smooth frame rate. It's also hard to believe this isn't a port of some other FPS from the 90s. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Nightmare Reaper. Of all the shooters we've played this year, Nightmare Reaper is the best of the best. A young woman is trapped in an asylum, forced to fight her inner demons in a satanic realm. Use a variety of fantastical and vicious weapons to fend off the beasts as you seek to escape your prison of torment, and play GBA games to upgrade your skills. From weapons to enemy designs to its kick-ass soundtrack from Andrew Hulshult, Nightmare Reaper is truly the best boomer shooter we have played since Doom 2016. Just give it a few minutes of your time and you'll understand. play the most brutal shooter of the year. Warhammer 40k Darktide is the much-anticipated co-op action shooter from an award-winning team of developers. Available now on PC.